Welcome to Unlocking Understanding 10 Tips for Storybox Success with your host, me, Storybox Lady. Hello! Do you have your book with you so you can do this with me? I am reading A Wrinkle in Time. And we are on tip number 6, characters. So what are characters? The definition of characters are the people, animals, or beings in a story. They perform actions and drive the plot forward. There are main characters and secondary characters. There are protagonists and antagonists. Characters give heart to any story. Let's talk about these characters in A Wrinkle in Time. The main 2 characters that I see in the story are Meg and Charles Wallace, her brother. The supporting characters are Calvin, Dad, Mrs. Whatsit, and Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which. The types of characters we have are the protagonists and the antagonists. Protagonists are considered our main good guy. They are the character in the story who wants to solve the problem, or the character in the story who doesn't want to solve the problem, but they know solving the problem is for the greater good. These are our superheroes, and our good guys, our champions. They're the people in the story that we tend to fall in love with, and we cheer them on as we see them throughout the story. Their act is selfless. They care more about others than themselves. If the character is well written in the story, then we will see the character develop character growth. They learn something about themselves, and we, as readers, get to learn about it too. Sometimes the author will tell us what the character might be learning before the character even finds out about it. And when that happens, I love to cheer the character on when they find out what they need to do. This does happen a few times in Harry Potter, for example. Antagonists are seen as the bad guys or the villains of the story. They do everything they can do to stop the protagonist from accomplishing their goals. Most of the times, the antagonists have a clear goal of what they want, and it's normally selfish. They think about themselves than others. Meg is our protagonist. She wants to save her dad desperately. She is really scared, and she's mad at herself for her human traits such as anger, clumsiness, impatience, and stubbornness. Supporting characters, Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which help Meg learn that she has greater strength of pure love and determination to not give up. Antagonist in the story is called IT. Kind of weird, huh? It isn't human. It is a machine or technology. It wants Meg, her brother Charles Wallace, Calvin, and her dad to join the planet to lose themselves. It wants them to become the same and to conform to the planet. It gets in the minds of the dad and of Charles Wallace. I will leave it up to you to read for yourself to find out what happens between the protagonists and the antagonists. It's pretty interesting. Why is it important to learn about characters, and how do learning about characters help you remember what you've read? When we learn about a character and when we connect to that character, it is so much easier to remember what we've read because we have a human connection to that character. That is why we can remember this character and we think about them. Think about, what would I do in this situation? How would I act? Would I do the same thing as this character? Okay to connect to the protagonist or the antagonist. They both have a lot of human characteristics that we can see in ourselves. Depends on how you proceed. If you proceed with selflessness or selfishness. Can you please share down below some of your favorite memorable characters and why you like them? I am happy to do a follow-up video about a few of my favorite characters and why they are my favorite character. Follow me for more tips. We'll be talking about tip number 7, main plot. Bye!